this time has really forced me to slow down. And in the slowness, I've discovered so much meaning to life, because during this slow period, we've made a little forest school outside in our garden. And so every day with the children has been one of connection with nature and creativity, because that's what children force you to do. We're constantly making things, making new projects, building things outside, digging the earth, planting seeds and watching them grow and watering them. And I've spent a lot more time in my kitchen baking and cooking and being creative in that way. And something that my soul was deeply craving and needing that it didn't have before, which is a grounding, and not just a grounding, but an earthing. I don't really know how to explain that word. It's more just actually being outside with my hands in the soil and my bare feet on the ground and the sun shining on my face, and having that on a daily basis has really nurtured my soul, and not just in a wishy-washy way, but in a way that I think is really significant, that has some real meaning to it, perhaps beyond something that we're able to speak about on a scientific level right now. And being outdoors with just the trees, the plants, it's helped me to feel this connection that I was really missing, really missing.
At lunchtime, my little girls only want daddy to feed them, and they can feed themselves, yeah? But I take great pleasure in that, knowing that I'm capturing a moment where my daughter specifically wants me to feed her. Sounds silly, sounds stupid, but do you know what? That is a moment that if it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't have experienced, yeah? The funniest thing is my youngest daughter will sit on the toilet screaming and shout, "Daddy, I want you to wipe my bum." And as horrible as that sounds, right, I sort of think to myself, do you know what? I've got this experience, I've got this moment, I've got this time to do it. And that's the bonding, that I'm getting with my kids now, that I just want to develop. I'm seeing them grow up. They're coming into my office, they're disturbing me when I'm working, but I'm just mindful of the fact that I welcome that disruption. I honestly say it's capturing all those moments of my little girls growing up that I would have missed if I was at work. And just that in itself, you could not have paid me all the money in the world to take the time off work to do it, but you can't pay me all the money in the world now to rewind that.
During this time, just like neighbours who can't get to the shops and being able to get something for them, or just offering support to people on the phone who are having really bad toothache, and being able to help in that way. I think these are the things that have brought meaning to my life.
And I miss the normal, but I think going forward, I'm going to take this new normal as a way forward and really savour those moments, just feeling the sun on my skin when I go for a run. Having the luxury of being able to go down the road to a supermarket, to appreciate the community spirit that has come from this somewhat terrible and distressing time for a lot of people, but to really appreciate how everyone has come together, to feel so much gratitude that I have an amazing family, really amazing friends and incredible colleagues that support and cherish and love me. It's made me appreciate everyone who's in my life, and that I'm so lucky to be surrounded by such wonderful, incredible people. I, for one, will be focusing on savouring and appreciating what nature has to give us, and that human connection that we possibly took for granted.
And to reflect and ponder on the little things that matter, like calling up my sister and my niece and nephew and speaking to them, and actually speaking to my parents more, even though we live so close. Listening to the birds As sad as that sounds, I feel like I can hear them clearly now when I couldn't before.
I thought I knew the area that I lived in really well, but actually every day we go out, me and my boyfriend go out for a quite long walk, hopefully in the sunshine, just around the local area, and I've realised how little I actually knew the area, and I've really come to appreciate where we live, really grateful that I can just, we can walk down to the River Thames, by Tower Bridge, we can just walk down by the river, we can go and spend time just in the local park, just spend time exploring the diverse area that we live in, and I'm really grateful for that.
Did I do something positive today? And it doesn't have to be so huge as saving a life. Just messaging a family member, checking up on them. How are you doing? Donating to charity, helping some student on Instagram with advice, cooking some nice dinner for my husband. Just something for someone other than yourself.
Reaching out to people, using all our online technology to keep in touch with people. And yes, social media can be a negative thing sometimes, but can also be a really positive thing in terms of supporting each other and keeping connected and having conversations with people, and meeting new people, and not just in your professional sphere but your own personal life. So now my mum knows how to use Zoom, which is amazing, and we spent some evenings doing online board games with my friends, and we're even recreating a festival online that we were supposed to go into this weekend, and so finding new ways to keep connected with people. I think we've all grown in that way.
I do think outside of yourself and your own goals and aspirations, it's good to have those, but what impact can you have on those around you? How can you make someone else's day better, moment better, life better? And always be kind.
Really appreciating what I have without spending any money. Really appreciating sort of the taste and the smells, and really listening to what my body really enjoys, and experimenting with foods and various different things.
Sit down and take a moment to reflect about who I am as a person, and also where do I want to go? Who do I want to become? And it's been a really great way, in a sense, to in fact do like a life audit. And so I've sat down and I've assessed the things that I am working on. Do they bring me happiness and joy? And also, what things do I enjoy, or what would I like to do more of in the future to amplify that as well?
Everybody around me is just so supportive, and that's what they get me through like day-to-day life, because they're the reasons that I strive to achieve my goals, because I just have such wonderful people around me, and I realised how important meaningful relationships are to me. We already knew that anyway, but when things like this happen, you realise what's important to you, and that you will prioritise these things, and that's what I'm definitely going to do.